Hello friends. So we have covered our chapter number 1, that is introduction to GST. Now the actual GST starts with chapter number 2, that is supply. Now supply is defined in section 7 and then comes section 8, which provide the taxability of composite or mixed supply. And along with section 7, like what is supply, when some transaction can be treated as supply, when some transaction cannot be treated as supply, is defined in schedule 1, 2 and 3. So we are going to cover that along with section 7. Now I have designed this book like at the beginning of each chapter, whatever terms are being used in those chapters are taken as or given as relevant definition. So the relevant definitions given here are not much important from exam point of view. Reason being, we are going to have maximum 7 questions, 7 theory questions. So ICI does not have a scope to ask question on definition, but these are very important from understanding a section. So we'll take these definitions as and when they appear in our theory. So at present we are not going to see each and every definition, so we can skip the part number 1, the topic number 1, and now come to topic number 2, that is introduction to supply and why it is important. So friends, first we have to understand one thing. When GST is to be paid, when GST is applicable. Under any law, there is a event called taxable event. Until and unless there is no taxable event, no tax can be collected by the government. So when GST is applicable, when you have to pay GST, so sir, the liability of GST arises when there is a taxable supply plus taxable supply by whom? Taxable supply by a taxable person. So now who is taxable person? This part will be covered by your chapter number 9, that is registration. So I am not going to cover taxable portion here. So I am not going to cover taxable person here. So what we have to cover here is taxable supply. So again 2 words, taxable or supply. Taxable we can understand, on which tax has to be paid, which is not exempt. Second, what is supply? That we are going to cover in this chapter. Friends, clear? So unless and until some transaction is classified in supply, there is no GST. Means, if I tell in a very simple language, if there is no supply, there will be no GST. First prerequisite to levy GST is there should be a supply. Then that is taxable or not, that we will check in the chapter number 3, charge and exemption, whether it is exempted or not. So first we have to check it is a supply or not. Now supply of what? It may be a supply of goods or supply of goods or services. So again we divide supply into 2 parts. It may be supply of goods, it may be supply of services. Now, so why you have divided supply into 2 parts, supply of goods or supply of services? Because the nature of both things are different. Like goods you can see, supply of services or services you cannot see. The classification, goods, we have different type of goods. Services, we have different type of services. The place, like for goods, we can identify place of supply very easily, like because that is visible, that is tangible. Supply of services, for services, there may be online service, there may be some remote service. So the nature of these two are different. That is why these are divided into two categories. So supply divided into two categories, goods and services. So देखो, differentiate, why we need to differentiate? Because rates are different, time, place, some conditions. So here we must understand what is goods or what is services, because again, until and unless something is classified under goods or services, then only it can be treated as supply. Suppose if something is neither goods nor supply, if something is neither goods nor service, then whether such thing will be covered into supply or not? No, but supply can be of only goods or service. If something is not classified is goods or service, both, then again there is no GST. So now, sir, what is goods? Goods means every kind of, very important, movable property. So any kind of immovable property is out of definition of goods. Now we have to check whether that is services or not. Obviously, now there is a building. So that means building is a immovable property. Now that is not a goods. Now every kind of immovable property is goods other than money and securities. Money and securities are not considered as goods even if they are movable, but includes, what it includes? Actionable claim. Second inclusion, growing crops, grass or things attached to or forming part of land which are agreed to be severed before supply or under a contract of supply. Now understand this thing. There is a land. I have done a contract to sell this part of land to someone. Now whether this contract to sell this land is supply or not? Sir, it is not supply because land is immovable property. It is not classified as goods. Okay. Now there are certain grasses or some crops which is attached to this land. I sold that part of land to someone else along with these crops. Now, so whether that crops will be treated as goods or not? It will be not treated as goods as the crop is not cut before supply. So if I am selling a plot, a land along with the crop, department cannot say, sir, you are selling land, okay, that is immovable property, we will not charge GST on that, but along with the land you are also selling crops, so we will charge GST on sale of crops because crops is movable. So if crops are attached to the land and they are not cut before supply, that will not be treated as goods. So what is written here? Growing crops, grass or things attached to or forming part of the land which are agreed to be saved or cut. The normal simple meaning is cut before supply or under a contract of supply. So if I am not cutting that grass and all and I am selling land as such along with the crops, then that crops will be treated as immovable property, that will not be treated as movable property. It is not that much important again from exam point of view. So what is goods? Anything which is movable. It includes actionable claim, growing crops which are agreed to be cut before supply, but it excludes money and securities. Clear? Now what is an actionable claim? A complete definition has been given, but just like your book debts or debtors, they are called as actionable claim. Whether the money can be treated as goods or not. The question appeared before Bombay High Court. like there are so many companies which provide cash management services. So as long as the money is being transferred from one place to another as a goods, not they are being used as a transaction. Like what is given in note number 3 here, money shall be treated as goods as long as the same is not used as a legal tender. Like what happened? A bank gave 500 crore currency note to cash management services limited to fill cash in their various ATMs. And then CMS what will do? CMS will transfer that amount to each and every ATM. Now, whether the amount charged by CMS for refilling the ATMs will be chargeable to GST? Yes, that will be chargeable to GST. So, the no question arises, so why Bombay High Court has given such verdict, or what was the need? So, when CMS Limited got 500 crore, they have to refill the various ATMs. Now, to transfer that amount to various ATMs, they use certain vans or vehicles. They have purchased this. So, now when they purchase the vans or vehicles, they would have paid GST on those vehicles. Now, whether input tax credit, we are going to cover it in chapter number 8. So, whether that input tax credit will be available or not. Because again, ITC input tax credit, when it will be available? When there is a supply. So, this 500 crore amount is not used as a legal tender here. A bank has not sold 500 crore to CMS Limited. A bank has given currency note as a goods to CMS Limited to transfer at various branches or various ATMs. So, now here money becomes goods. Next part, services. Now, what is services? Services means anything other than goods, money and securities. So, money and securities are excluded from here also, but it includes activities relating to use of money or its conversion by cash or by any other mode from one form, currency or denomination to another form. So, like you have to go to USA. For that, you need dollars. Indian currency will not work in US. So, you go to a bank or money exchanger and you pay certain commission to that bank to convert your Indian rupees into US dollar. So, that commission is not money. It is their charges to convert the form of money from one currency to another. Now, that is included in the definition of services. Clear ekdam? So, we got goods. What is goods? Anything which is movable, but it does not include money and securities, but includes actionable claim or crops or anything which is attached to the earth, but agreed to be cut before supply. Services, anything other than goods or money and securities, includes activities which are related to conversion of money. Now friends, under GST there is a concept called AAR, Authority of Advance Ruling. Now whenever we have some confusion like whether such transaction is liable to GST or not, what would be the rate of GST, we can go to AAR and we can tell them, sir, we are having problem in classification or determining the rate. You tell us like what should I do in my case. So, individually any person can go to AAR and ask clarification. So, in one case, one organization went to AAR, sir, we have a orphanage. Now, we maintain kids in orphanage. So many persons come and they want to adopt the kids. Now, how orphanage will work? to serve the kids, to feed them, to buy clothes, to repair and maintenance the building, they need some money. So how that orphanage will get money? So first they get donation. Second, whenever any person adopts a child, they have to pay something to the orphanage for their betterment. So now whether that transaction will be treated as supply of goods, like orphanage is supplying kids to the person and charging something in return. So AAR, Maharashtra AAR said child is not a goods, so there will be no GST. No doubt, I understand it is something you might think it is funny, it is illogical, but it is law and it is given in module. So we have to understand it. Sometime a small MCQ may come on such questions, because what ICI wants, they want their student must read module very carefully, and that we are doing in our lectures.